Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Hades 2, and last time we had another successful run going down with the torches. And so what we have planned for this one is, well, you see, the game really wants us to continue to use the skull, which we've used a ton of as of late, so unfortunately, if you're always subject to the whims of the Grave Thirst, then sometimes it's just going to insist on giving you the same weapon over and over again. So I think we will mix it up. We'll deviate from that a bit. The two weapons we've, I think, yet to use as of the full release are the blades, which are my favorite, and the axe, which is probably my least favorite. But I think we might go axe here, because that...
Dare I take the vows?
Is saying that we ought to go up, and we have also done several downward runs in a row, so we're kind of overdue to go up. So we could either activate the first rival fight, and then that would be enough. All we need is 2 fear here, and that's just to further demonstrate that, yes, I have not used this weapon very often. But I actually think, although we haven't seen the rival fights on the surface yet as of the full release, I did do almost all of them, have yet to see Rival Typhon, but did all the other ones in early access, and I actually think that in some ways the first rival fight on the surface is the most difficult, at least for when it shows up, / mechanically, I am not a fan of it. So I am not going to go that route here. Instead, I think we'll go with some of the more straightforward fear upgrades, and I have used Vow of Hordes at least once before. I think only one tier of it. I don't actually know how it gives us the additional enemies, though, if it means that the encounters are more densely populated, or if it means there are additional waves of enemies. But I think it could be kind of interesting to test this out a bit with this weapon, because the axe is very much, in general, a big, slow, hit once, hit hard type of weapon, unlike the other ones that are, like the blades, that are my favorite because they do the opposite, and that's usually my preference. But this aspect in particular, which we might stick with, the aspect of Charon, is pretty awesome. So, not a huge fan of the base one, but, and maybe that's in part because I haven't really upgraded it yet, but this gets pretty sweet, and if we upgrade it further, I'm tempted to do that as well, but the gist of it is, I suppose I'll give you the basic stuff first. Normal attack, as you can see, slow, but large area of effect and does do a lot of damage. Then, that's the special, and if we do a charged attack, we do this, we do a charge special, then we do that. Except what this aspect does in particular is it has a specific combo. If you use a cast and then follow it up with a charge special, then you can potentially wipe out an entire room. So that's why I feel like, especially if we upgrade that to the max level, makes it do more damage and also get a little bit of extra area of effect.
The sheer might of Lord Charon.
Get it all charged up.
So now it is all charged up. Oh, hold on. This first, and this. So I feel like with the extra enemies,
Do I dare?
if they are all in at the same time, just really densely compacted in an area, then obviously we might still be able to take them all out in one combo, and it might not be that big of a deal. But we'll see. I'm sure there are going to be some encounters that are going to be a pain in the butt with that many additional enemies in them. I think we'll still start with the gold purse. I am generally a big fan of that. And then we took Rocky for the crit last time. The thing that I typically don't like about the axe is because it's so slow, you can very much get hit as you're trying to set up your attacks or your combo. So I feel like getting the block from Golly could help mitigate those risks to a certain extent, and we could potentially treat you some of these Witch's Delights to get even stronger passive abilities from you. Yeah, it's weird. We saw with some of our other familiars, it let us go to the next tier, but it's not letting us go beyond rank 3 for what would be my preferred option for you. So I don't know what that's all about, if we need to upgrade other things first and then the next tier becomes available, or if this truly does cap at rank 3. It seemed like, yeah, I don't know. Do this one,
Ooh.
It's the one that I think is the least important. Gives us the extra crafting resources, but if we're willing to do this again, I just wonder, because that was the lowest ranking one, is that the bottleneck here? Maybe not. I mean, okay, sure, we'll do this.
Can't get enough of those.
Now you are rank 7. Dealing more damage when you do the block, but I really would prefer to get that movement speed and dodge chance, but oh well. Okay, and I guess could potentially check here, see if there's anything we could upgrade. I mean, not of the things that we're currently using. We could potentially make some adjustments specific to the axe, but for the most part, I'm satisfied with what we're rolling with there. So let's just double check this real quick. We want to go up. We have enough fear, so as long as we can defeat base Eris, we will get our bonus nightmare. Of course, ideally, we'd make it all the way up and defeat Typhon, but we'll see.
Olympus.
I've not, as I said, I've tried the rank 1 of this fear
Headmistress
before,
guide me.
maybe on a couple of occasions, but I have never done it rank 2, so this could be a horrible idea, I'm not sure. But this is a weapon we're going to want to prioritize big, slow attacks on, hit once, hit hard, and especially with our cast. Zeus kind of fits that description with some of his boons, so I think that is a good fit.
There is some difference of opinion here regarding where your efforts are of greatest benefit. We shall keep the matter on Olympus well in hand, but we cannot get to Kronos in your father's realm as easily as you.
Right, and that's one of the reasons why we also decided to deviate from the Grave Thirst weapon, because just kept on insisting that we go down. Technically, I think you do need to do 1 or 2 more downward runs than you do upward runs, just based on the rewards you get from defeating the final bosses, but I am not thrilled about all these being common rarity, unless if we were to use the Narcissus Keepsake to level one of the, or to rarify one of them, although in that case, we'd probably rather that be the cast. Cast is going to be the most important for this run with this aspect. The special is also important too. We're probably going to be doing a lot less base attacks. So, go for that. I mean, if we are to rarify something, I don't really want to use a reroll on the very first encounter, but I'm half tempted to do it. If we are to rarify something, I'd ideally like to use the Narcissus Keepsake to improve the power of our cast, but I guess special could be next best thing. So that's the combo. So if you were wondering if I was exaggerating when I said that it could potentially clear out a full room, okay, fair enough. It didn't quite clear out the full room, but it just about cleared out the full room.
Shamblers.
It does, however, mean we are going to be using a fair bit of magic to set up that combo. There you see, that's just the basic triple hit combo with the attack. But there is a case to be made for making a bit of a point of
All yours, Gully.
getting extra magic, just so we can consistently do that, because that becomes an issue, obviously. It's one thing in relatively short encounters where you can clear out the entire room with 1 or 2 of those combos, but in a boss fight, for example, if you can only do that 2 or 3 times and then suddenly you don't have anything else on top of that, then that could be an issue. And this is the only thing we can upgrade, but that's probably okay. As I said, special is likely to be the second most important thing for us to set up here. Now, let's take a look. What are we dealing with? Hammer, obviously, is very much of interest. Medea does usually have, or has the potential to give us some things that give us value the earlier we take them, so might want to take her early, similar for Hermes as well. Then obviously, Hammer would be good after that. Selene could be very good, for the same reason I was saying we're going to use a lot of magic. That also means, well, we're going to charge up our Hex more quickly if we have one. So that could be Medea 1, Hermes 2, or put those in the other order if you really want. Hammer 3, 4 for Selene. How many rooms do we get total? We get 6.
Need a quick overview.
So that means we could either go double Apollo, get our second Zeus, or I am also eyeing that double magic, which usually I would kind of scoff at, but this might be an exception. Let's see what we can get here.
A drop of blood.
So we're going to find a lot of these items that Golly can pick up, because we did just upgrade that further.
Fear not.
Okay, so what's your deal today, Medea?
To face such cataclysmic times and all this tragedy. Truly, these are memorable nights. How fare your journeys to that cursed place the gods call home?
Well, we did make it for the first time. Well, yeah, our previous upward run was our first time ever actually seeing the palace.
Eventful, in a word. Your concoctions have been broadly useful on the way. I always thought such magic focused on a single victim at a time.
Reach a certain point, and the world itself can be the single target of your wrath.
Oh,
Keep practicing, sorceress. We've no shortage of enemies on whom to ply our trade.
alright, let's see what she gives us. Foes' range shots, travel more slowly. After foe is slain, 10% chance to find 20 gold up to 2 times per location. Earlier you get that, the better. There is another one of these that gives healing in a similar way, and I remember that one was easy to accidentally miss the pickup. And I am wondering if it's the same thing from this as well, if it's small and subtle enough that you might just walk right past it sometimes, or it might be hiding in a corner where it's hard to see. There's a chance I've taken this one as well before and I faced some issues like that. If your foe joins the encounter, it loses 50% of the armor. In some circumstances, useful against stronger enemies, but otherwise it's doing nothing at times. This would be good against, way in the future, Typhon. But I think we're still going to go for this.
Should be no side effects.
I'm grateful, Milady.
Should be no side effects, you say? Okay, so break that.
No. Tread lightly, sorceress.
Okay, so now I think it is Hermes next, because he is the other one who is most likely to give us stuff that gains value over time. Excuse me. We can also use this.
One less pylon.
Okay. There's extra gold. Give you a sense of what they look like. Okay, they do actually automatically get picked up if you walk close to them. That may not have been the case before, and so I'm glad that that is now the case, because, as I said, I definitely experienced that with some of these types of boons in the past from Medea.
Hear that? Why, that's the sound of Premium Express Delivery, always bringing you only the very best. So make the most of it.
Let's see. Okay, charge moves are faster. That would actually be extremely useful. First purchase costs less, and then we get a bonus item. Oh, these are all so good. I want all of them. No. This is great early on in a run, especially when we now have more earning potential from that Medea upgrade. But the sprint speed is nice, in addition to the 2 blocks per encounter, which is huge, especially early on. And then the charge moves are faster when our whole build is based around using charge moves that have slow animations. Be really helpful. Make us better defensively, really. I mean, sure, yes, we can get more damage per second, but more importantly, we have a smaller window in which we are just standing there waiting for our big combo to do the burst of damage. So I don't really think there's a wrong answer here, but is there an answer that is more right than the others? I feel like we try this, given the timing, but I would love to see all of those other ones as well.
Some seeds.
Okay, what do we get here? I didn't realize that was going to be the third hit of that combo. Whoop! Watch out for the projectile. There we go. Oh, and you actually gave us a little bit of extra gold. And then this still special is the only thing we can upgrade, so we would like to keep our eyes peeled for a good cast boon. The other thing we're going to be looking for is, I believe, the next room. Just double check we didn't miss anything here, but I think we're good. Next room is going to be a hammer, and so special upgrade. Oh, hello. Wouldn't be the worst thing. Even you gave us some extra gold, which is quite nice. Those guys, sometimes they spawn in here just randomly, and they are typically not very aggressive. They're kind of just standing around doing nothing, and sometimes they drop 1 gold, but with the Medea upgrade, they actually dropped 22. So, enough to potentially be of some significance, but cast is the big thing. We really want a cast upgrade from this. It can be a little tricky at times to aim this combo in a way that gets you the most value. Okay, you do have armor. Not even more, though. You did, however, create some of these guys. There we go. Okay, make sure nobody dropped any more of the gold. They may have, but if they did, then I picked it up already. Okay. So let's see. Channel your charge attack faster. No, it needs to be the special. No, they're all attacks. This would be so fantastic if this was special. Ah, darn it. I really think this is going to be worth a reroll, because this is very likely to be the most important upgrade on this floor. Oh, I'm not allowed to do it with hammer upgrades. I did not even realize that, to be honest with you. Okay, that stinks. I mean, obviously, these can still be quite good, but we are not really planning on using our attack much. It's mostly just a little way to poke enemies who didn't go down to the big combo, or against bosses, we might need to rely on it a little bit more if we are unable to spam our magic-related skills. So you channel your charge attack faster. So I don't think we're going to be using charge attack, because we're going to want to use as much of our magic as possible for our big combo. As I was saying, basically, if we run out of magic, that's another time we're going to be using the attack. So base attack is probably the most relevant to us. Your attacks also deal 60 damage to surrounding foes for each and every strike. So it gives it more area of effect, basically. More crowd control, which, given how slow it is kind of nice. It actually kind of protects you to a certain extent. Attacks have plus 10 base power, and we take less damage while using them. That's also kind of nifty. The axe attack does have a lot of base damage, so adding 10 flat power for a quick, small hitting weapon would be a huge deal. Not as significant for the axe. And then kind of similarly, 60 flat damage would be unbelievable for some of the faster weapons, but given how slow this attack is, I think it's still probably the best choice, but
shines.
This. Now, okay, getting a fair number of these side areas, so that is good.
You.
On. Okay. Get 40 gold from that. A little bit from that. 50 from that as well. And getting a ton of palms here. Maybe it isn't the worst idea to rarefy that special boon, because it has the levels. It is not of the rarity. But if you were to get that rarity suddenly, it would become very strong. Okay, but I think that's everything in here. Okay. So now is where we had some questions about how we wanted to approach things. And the Hex from Selene could obviously be quite good. We have only one boon from a major boon-giving god or goddess, Zeus. Hermes is kind of in his own category. So if we're thinking about duo potential, it's actually a little tricky with Selene right now. So, but is it worth going there and then seeing if we got... I know which one Apollo's hex is, so we could then make a point of going to Apollo if we see his hex. Poseidon, I don't know if I know which one he pairs up with, and there's a chance Hestia doesn't have any at all, I don't know. Then we were also thinking about the double magic, especially for the boss fight. Oh, hold on. 1 moment. Get a little bit of extra gold. Okay, we'll try it out. We'll see what we get. Okay, I am, yes, interested in picking up that gold, or rather that mining resource, I should say. We did get the gold. And then I was pokey. Didn't actually pull off the combo there. Don't do that. Nope. Oh, that was close. Okay.
Acceptable.
Acceptable, I suppose.
I bid you shine for me again tonight.
Kronos can wait, for he is time itself. You turn your energies instead toward his armies on the surface, and can slow him down that way, growing stronger all the while.
That's the plan. Okay, let's see. Big Blast. We took this fairly recently, possibly even in our previous run or the one before that. And it can become very powerful. The delay is a little tough to work with, although against stagnant bosses, it can be very effective. So maybe some Polyphemus a little tricky. Eris probably very tricky. Prometheus pretty tricky. Typhon easy to hit with that. So nice for Typhon, but there's a lot of stuff in between here and now and getting there to the very end of the run. Hex makes everything move more slowly for 4 seconds. Makes us impervious living nightmare. This is Aphrodite. I don't know what this is. I don't know if we've seen what this is either. But it's not Zeus. I guess we know that much. It's a big meteor. I feel like there's a chance that could be Hestia, thematically. A meteor has a bunch of extra fire effects. I could believe that. But that's speculative, and I was not really planning on going into the Hestia room.
Total eclipse.
So, not sure I want to take what could be a suboptimal room just because I have a guess that she might be the one that combines with that hex. Okay. So now it gets, again, tricky because we need to make more decisions. I'm also just looking around because, yes, sometimes those zombie dudes do respawn after you finish a room, and given how they actually have a good chance to give us extra gold, it's a little more meaningful now than it would have otherwise been. So I know that was not Apollo's, not his hex that he combines with. Does that rule him out? It could, although he does have good area of effect stuff, which could be nice for the cast in particular, since that's the combo we're working with, and it could more reliably wipe out an entire room. Otherwise, Poseidon also has big area of effect, so he could be useful for that purpose as well. We could double down on Zeus, or Hestia, as I said, is speculative. I think there is a decent case to be made for taking the double magic, in large part because of the combo and how much magic it uses, and it's going to be pretty difficult to do that very often in the boss fight unless we load up on that magic. So actually, we could test exactly how much it does here. It's 30. So we can use it 3 times. I mean, that's certainly not enough to defeat Polyphemus. Okay. Whereas if we do this, that's 60 extra, right? Because it's 30 per magic. So that would mean we can do it 5 times? No, 4 times. No, 5 times. Math. My brain stopped working. Excuse me. Oh, okay, that's a little different.
You blasted gods and goddesses are all alike.
Right, wait, because we could use it 3... Hold on. Oh, yeah, because we'll get up to 150. Okay, no, it was my addition that was wrong. I was like, what, if we have 120 magic, that's not going to be enough to use it 5 times. Why? That's not a... It's not a multiple of 5. No, we'll be at 150, 155, and then we'll be able to use it 5 times. Okay, that makes sense. The math checks out now. But now... slay the one with the mark on it. Theoretically. Oh, I was gonna say, that does necessitate that there is one that has a mark on it. That wasn't really the timing I was looking for, but okay. Oh, and now we are out of the magic that we might have liked to have seen. By any chance, was there a guy who had a mark in that spot? So now we're out of magic, and this is... oh, there's a block. Bit wasted at that, but... oh, gosh, and that was bad. But, this is what we anticipated would end up happening. Is once we run out of magic, things get a little trickier. It seems like...
Assault tonic.
Weak.
okay, I have no idea how many of them we actually destroyed that had the mark on them, but it's 100 gold, I guess, which we would not have otherwise gotten, so that's something. Makes it a little more meaningful to have chosen to go into this room when otherwise it seemed like it was maybe a little bit questionable. Oh, and I didn't even see there was extra gold there. Okay. So yeah, 160.
Those magic tricks, you're borrowing that power. How can you trust it when strength belongs to you alone?
Magic and raw strength are not in opposition. Both ultimately come from within. They're just trained differently.
I don't think so, sister. You're drawing from the moon and the earth and who knows what else. But in this world, you can't rely on anybody but yourself.
And for what it's worth, he's not our brother. We're not brother and sister. He's more of a cousin or a half cousin. Okay. No bonus room here. No interest in gifting to you, so I think we're on our way. And now that means we can use the combo more often. We still don't have a cast boon. We will get a shop just before the boss fight, and we will get the chance to double purchase something there, and we may have 100, or rather 1,000 gold by the time we get there. So that shouldn't be much of an issue. But this is the tough part, is we have not gotten many normal boons yet. So do we just go big on Zeus? Get his cast? But his cast has delayed damage, actually, which I don't think is good for us, because we want not only to have big area of effect and high damage when we hit once, but we want that to be immediate, so that way, as soon as we pull off the combo, everyone is dead. We don't have to worry about our just being stuck in those lag end animation, whatever you want to call it, at the end of that, and getting hit by enemies when we're most vulnerable. So, I mean, Poseidon would probably be the best for keeping enemies away from us, followed by Apollo. I guess we can do... I just don't know if he's best for damage. I think it might actually be Apollo, in which case... might have been better to have doubled down, because it's nice to get two from the same type of god. Was that real quick? But you actually had armor. Pardon me. No, don't move out of there. That's what I think of you. There we go.
Message for me.
One more gold there. Okay, we're gonna be a little bit shy of 1,000 gold.
My father Zeus already got you, did he? Blessed you, I should say. He's a god of many inclinations, but when our rule is threatened or even insulted, no one fights back more fiercely.
He is the one who has helped us the most. On the surface. More common boons, and this is not a good time for that, because we've so few boons, but the one that matters most for direct damage dealing is common rarity, and I'd kind of like for this to get upgraded by Narcissus's keepsake later on, and so taking one of these would potentially break that. Oh, we did not use a reroll. We tried to use one earlier, but okay, maybe we can use one here in that case. Kind of like to see the cast of higher rarity. It's rare, Oh, actually, this is not the direct cast boon. This is the supporting cast boon that just increases its area of effect, which I think could be quite good. It does mean we're still looking for the main damage-dealing components added to the cast, but that could be quite interesting. Especially if we manage to upgrade that further. Can't really rarefy it, or at least it would be extremely difficult to do that, but peel off the little bit of damage that we took.
Okay.
Oh, look at you. I was just thinking, maybe we do one more quick check to see if there are any other zombies like that hanging around, because if that were the case, then we could actually get close to 1,000 gold, but I don't think that's gonna happen. And obviously that's just an arbitrary number that doesn't really mean anything here. I think either way, we will have enough to purchase everything in this shop.
At last.
Okay. And remember, we get an extra copy of the first type of thing that we purchase, and it comes at a discount. It's definitely going to be Ares. Ares is another person who has big burst of damage for the types of, usually one-time hit type of skills. So this is probably a good fit.
Should supply lines be disrupted for too long, so I am ever grateful for your boatman, as I'd not have reached you now if not for him.
Let's see. So we can get an attack boon from you. We have somewhat recently gotten some plasma-related things, and it is quite powerful at times. Gives us magic restoration, which honestly is very well timed. This would... Does it only give us magic in this case? If we do this one, that only gives us the movement and strike speed, which would also be useful, don't get me wrong. I mean, all these are good. I wish we... Yeah. Well, I want more of these things. I think this is the most valuable to us in the immediate term. Obviously, this is the highest rarity, but as I was saying before, we aren't really planning on using our attacks very often. Obviously, when we do, they're stronger, but I think that lets us use our key combo more often. That is more important, and then we can get the extra boon. And then this is the actual cast boon from Apollo, and this one gives us damage. Wait, inflicts daze and a burst of damage before they expire. No, we don't want this. This one does not do upfront damage, it's delayed damage. It only does damage when it expires, right? Which kind of defeats the whole purpose of this combo. So the supporting cast boon from Apollo was fine. This one, less so. I guess we're doing this then. I mean, sprint speed is never bad.
Apollo's light.
Okay, and if I had known we would have the option to purchase magic here, I might have been... And that we would get a magic restoration boon. Probably would have opted for one of the boons rather than the double magic room. So now this is probably a little bit overkill, but oh well. And Charon has something to say to us. Of course.
Lord Charon, are you giving this to me? The pattern on this parchment work. The mark of night and a triple-headed lion and the words, I see you hoard the shattered corpses of your foes. This is a waking phrase for Zorafet.
Ah, so we are using Charon's aspect on the axe, and speaking to Charon with that. There are a few other instances in which you can have that same type of thing happen, and that has unlocked hidden aspects before. I think we have done this at least once before. I mean, this is not our first time using this weapon aspect, and presumably we did cross paths with Charon on that run, because you do see him pretty often. But only now is this happening.
You are entrusting me with this. Well, if you think I'm ready, then I'll say it at the Silver Pool, next opportunity I get. Thank you, my lord. I see you hoard the shattered corpses of your foes.
Okay, so that's a big deal. That means that when we get back to town, we will actually be able to unlock a secret hidden aspect for the axe, which we obviously had not yet done. I think there's one other hidden aspect. I think the torches, we've yet to find that one. And we could buy this, but I think we'll hold on to the monies. And hop into the Polyphemus fight. It is now certainly a lot easier for us to spam the combo. That was kind of the concern, was that against tankier bosses, we would only be able to use it a few times, and then we'd be kind of out of luck after that, but we have both more magic and magic restoration. And then the special, it does have good damage from those levels. Other than that, it's mostly passive stuff.
Be safe, Lord Charon.
Hold it. The dead. They talk sometimes, or try. Nothing better to do around here. Know what they're going on about? I couldn't make it out at first, but sounds an awful lot like Prometheus.
I think so.
The Titan of Foresight, and one of your allies in case you've not met, for apparently you serve the same master. What have the wretched dead to say about the likes of him?
Mostly just moans and groans. Might be they're hungry like me. Cause if Prometheus really made off with fire from the gods like I'm hearing, he probably knows how to cook.
I am surprised that the undead are able to say the word, articulate the word Prometheus. Okay, now I am curious. I am curious to see... Ooh, that's a bad place to stand. How Polyphemus is affected by having additional enemies in the encounter. I'm gonna be honest with you, it does kind of seem like just the basic attack is going to be... Ooh, don't do it like that. Basic attack is going to be the best way for us to go here. Or have Polyphemus conveniently stand still when we're using the Hex. That's a bad place to stand. Oh, but there is
Wake up.
his first phase. And if you're looking at that sheep on the ground there and thinking, Lids, that looks kind of green. You're not wrong. That actually is significant. If we can get Polyphemus to get close to that, that would actually be very helpful. You can also see now that the... Oop, that was wasted resistance, but you can see that the cast is getting bigger now as time goes on. Okay, wait for him to do a thing that suggests he's going to stand still for a while. That might have been a good window. We can anticipate where he's going. Go. Get that sheep. Yes. Good. So that sheep was poisoned. Now he's phased again. Send the magic back. Oh. I did not expect the horn to come in there. No, don't move over there. That's not where I put the hex. Ooh. Oh, monies.
Sheep smell worse than usual.
Ooh, that's a bad place to be stuck. Yeah, just gonna get hit by one of those. It's more of the cursed sheep. And you can move them by hitting them. I did try to get that right on top of him.
I'll find you.
Okay, hold on. It's moving in this direction. I'm hoping that he's quick enough. That's still gonna hit him. I might have been a little too... Ow! Was slightly too optimistic with how quick I thought he was gonna be. And those sheep actually will damage you for what it's worth, the green ones. That's a bad place to stand for this. But so is that. Can you calm down? But also walk this way? Thank you. Whoa, that was not smart. But there we go. Down he goes. I think we used our blocks, but I'm not sure if we actually took any damage. Doesn't look like we did. So that's nice. Yes, the magic restoration definitely came in handy there. So we, as you can see, still had magic even at the end, although that wouldn't quite have been enough to use the combo. That was our concern.
Keepsakes.
Okay, now, however, there are potentially a couple things we could do. We could throw on the Narcissus Keepsake to upgrade the rarity of you immediately. Or we could throw on the Moonbeam, Seleni's Keepsake, to more quickly upgrade our Hex. Feel like might go for the Narcissus one, because it's kind of a do it once or you're going to miss the opportunity, because otherwise we have the chance of getting other common boons, and at that point we might whiff and hit something that's far less meaningful. Let me just double check that we do in fact only have one common rarity boon. Yeah, I think so.
Maybe
So let's
I
do
should
it.
Switch.
It's on the special. It's not as meaningful as it would have been on the cast, I don't think, but that's still level 4 heroic rarity special, so I think that should be pretty good. Now here, we don't need the healing, although in some ways this is actually one of the rare times when delayed delivery can be good. We're currently at full health, but after 3 encounters, who knows, maybe that'll actually be well timed. Otherwise, we get a mystery boon. I think we definitely
Looking forward to this.
like that. We could even take this as well. But maybe... I mean, we have a lot of magic already, and do have some decent magic restoration as well, so maybe we save the monies to get especially aggressive on the other stuff. We still have a fair bit, but I think played a little safe.
Good.
Okay, oop. I feel like we've not been seeing as many crafting slash pick-upable resources as I would have expected at this stage. This does seem like a good layout for us to do this. It's pretty much a straight line. Okay, just make sure we're picking up that gold that dropped there, and we're gonna get more here, so alright. Maybe we're gonna be okay on the gold side of things. We could have just purchased the extra magic without too much trouble, but oh well. In the end, I'm hoping that 30 magic is not going to be that big of a difference maker. Who is still here? You are. Both of you are. Please don't do that. I don't like it when you do that. I understand that it's kind of your thing. Oh, that's so bad. I thought that it's a good example of... I was pretty sure that our attack was going to be quick enough to stop them from hitting us, because it was going to stagger them, but just a little too slow. Just do basic stuff against you, and then try to get a little closer before I do the combo for you guys. So technically, our special is doing delayed damage. Either it does damage after a certain amount of time, or it does damage after the enemies get hit for a certain amount, right? Afflicted foes are struck by lightning after they either take 120 damage or after 4 seconds. So, depends on the extent to which we're also hitting them with the cast in that combo. Let's see. Life, magic. I mean, we have so much magic. I think that, yeah, we have a little bit of extra life, because we actually haven't yet to increase our max life at all yet. Ooh, okay. That's a little nasty. But yeah, that's one of the things, is you can get kind of used to more or less stun-locking enemies, especially with the smaller weapons, the quicker weapons. But given how slow this one is, it's a little trickier to rely on. Now, as I said, we have yet to get any max health upgrades, so we are lagging behind quite a bit on that front. On the other hand, this is still fairly early on in the run, so it's hard to turn down Hermes at this stage. Ooh, hold on. Oh, I think I delayed that just long enough that the cast technically wasn't on the ground anymore. I was a little concerned about those guys hitting me. You know what? You're pretty stationary. That still probably was not aimed very well, but conveniently, you both happened to walk straight into it. That is more or less exactly what happened last time. I tried to hit one of those guys. Fortunately, I sidestepped just enough, though.
In the name of Hades.
Okay, let's see. Channel your charge cast faster. No, it's the charge. We're just doing base cast. It's charge special. Sprint is faster. We get 1 blocked hit each encounter. I think we saw the rare version of this before, and the higher the rarity, the more blocks you get per encounter, so it makes a pretty huge difference. I would love to see this rare or better. Might still be worth taking it. Dodge chance based on number of boons we have. We don't have that many right now, but long term that could become quite good. So it's gonna be one of these. We're thinking infusion potential-wise. We have 2 air boons. I have to imagine Zeus's infusion is an air infusion, though I don't remember what it does. Whereas Ares is an earth one, so that may not be in the cards. Apollo's is probably fire, although I also don't remember. No, his... What is his? It's either... It might be fire. Is that the one that heals you? Or something like 30% of the damage that you took? In which case, I have seen that a lot and probably should remember it. But I feel like... Yeah, I think we should take this. I wish it was higher rarity, but... Alongside Golly, it does collectively give us quite a bit more defense. Oh, and that gave us a free fire elemental effect. And, okay, mini-boss here. We're also about to get the random boon delivery, but who is this going to be? Oh, it's been a little while
Hungry for more, Charybdis?
since we last saw Charybdis here. Technically, this is where you would tend to find Charybdis for the first time. Ooh. Not in the Scylla encounter. Of course, times have changed. Now we have the Hex. I'm just not really sure what the best way to use it in this encounter is. I don't think you can target Charybdis directly. Are these individual... Okay, I was going to say. These have a lot more life than I expected. Oh, this would have been a much better time. Much better time to have it. Although, I am also eyeing this. Oh, no, that was the attack. I meant for that to be the... Hold on. That. You are lined up very well for it. Okay, now Charybdis is mad. Can I hit you with the Hex? It would seem so. That's a lot of projectiles. I don't like it when you shoot that number of projectiles. I mean, no, it was a waste, I think. No, I wasn't quick enough. That's... I mean, even if I'm doing this as quickly as possible, we're just not fast enough. I wanted that to hit 2 of them. But I... Oh, and then... Okay. That might have still hit you. Just the animations... Our animations are so slow. Oh my gosh, that was so silly. Our animations are so slow that even if we do them as quickly as possible, it's still not guaranteed that we're gonna do them in time. So that is the pain. Those are actually heat-seeking. And then they explode automatically as well. So I'm very much not used to this form of the Charybdis encounter anymore.
Can't go full blast.
I tried to hit in the middle so I could get them both at the same time, then I'm pretty sure I got neither. Yes, they glow like that when they're going to explode automatically. Oh, we got... Okay. Just enough to do this. Okay, that was greedy. Excuse me. I'd like to get that. Oh my... Did I miss that too? I think I did. Fortunately, you are almost down. There we go. Okay. So, pretty poor execution on that. We took a lot of damage.
Throw it away for now.
But we do get this high rarity Apollo boon plus the random boon from Hermes. Let's see, here it is. Would have been useful in this encounter. It is the infusion that I had just talked about. Don't want this cast. That could have been useful as well. I think we'll take you, though. We could certainly use some healing right about now.
Made to order.
Festus.
Kronos must be getting right sore from all your meetings here, Witchy. But ain't learned a proper lesson yet. Much as it must be nice flattening him, starting to wonder what's the plan here besides that.
Okay, so your cast does do a decent burst of damage. It's kind of hard to increase the damage, though, because leveling it up improves the... Oh, no! The cast is a little bit different than your other ones. Usually, upgrading your boons improves the cooldown, not the damage, but this might be an exception to that. Not really sure how this is going to work with this particular aspect. I was just thinking, this is... Whatever cast boon we take is going to be the most important boon for the entire run, in all likelihood, or at least the most fundamental piece to our build. And this is not bad. But if we were greedy, it would be nice if it were higher rarity. So, would we venture to reroll here? This is actually guaranteed to give... Wait, no. This is not the one from the Charybdis fight. This is the random delivery from Hermes, so this does not have guaranteed high rarity. So, in that case... I think we might just have to settle for this. It's a little unfortunate.
Such strength.
I wish it was just a little bit stronger.
Go for it, Golly. Good job.
Okay, so, yeah, we took a decent bit of damage. Wasn't a crazy amount, but we have so little life to begin with at the moment that it still adds up to a lot, and these guys are really nasty.
No, you don't.
I was trying to do the cast first, but it technically had not yet expired in the other location, so I could not yet use it. Okay, this is going to give us a level up on one of our boons. Probably would be special, and the cast that would be most useful to us. That was a lot of damage, but on the other hand, there are a lot of enemies there. Yeah. Okay, this is why I have, in general, hated this floor in the early access, is because it gets so crowded. Was the delayed damage that killed you there? Or did you take yourself out somehow? What's the random upgrade go to? The special. Okay, I mean, we are definitely getting diminishing returns at this point, but that is still our second most important boon in a way. But yeah, getting healing of any variety would be very useful. There's a chance we could find ourselves getting one of those empty rooms with a fountain. That would be ideal. And that is exactly what it is. Ask and you shall receive.
Into the purse.
Look at that. We're at max life.
Valuable is here.
Ooh, I didn't even see this.
Something yet stirs within that murky deep.
Indeed. Oh,
No escape.
that was very tricky. I was thinking to myself, what with Homer narrating over that at the very beginning, like, oh, that would be devious if it was a really quick fish that wanted you to reel it up during that little bit of dialogue. Then it didn't happen. I was like, oh, okay, maybe not. But then as soon as it was over, boom. Then it immediately had us do it. Okay. I think we want both of these. We, once again, have a ton of gold. Whatever we take first is going to be discounted.
Should get here soon enough.
And I mean, now that we have 100 gold, or rather 100 life, it's a little less urgent for us to do defensive stuff, but you could even make the case for delivering this. Now, a family dispute is a little concerning, because we have a ton of area of effect damage potential, but it is slow, or at least we are very stationary as we're doing that, and most of the gods and goddesses, when they get mad at you, create some sort of environmental effect that either is a area on the ground that deals damage based on where you are standing, so you have to stay mobile to avoid getting hit by it, or fire some sort of heat-seeking projectile that will chase after you. So again, if you're standing still, you're going to get hit by it. I know that Zeus creates circles on the ground. I don't remember what Ares does. It might be more or less the same thing, so I'm just a little wary of that because we almost certainly will get hit whenever we pull off the combo, which is a bit of a problem. Okay. We do have the extra movement speed from... what was it? Ooh, no, not that. 20% from that. Golly actually does give us a little bit of movement speed as well. And does this give us sprint speed? It does. Okay, so yeah, this is noticeably quite fast. But the problem is, sure, when we're sprinting, we're fast. When we're doing this, or special combo stuff, which I won't do right now because I don't want to waste our magic, that's very slow. So I think they're very similar with what they do when they get mad. So take your pick as to who we go for. I don't know that it makes that much of a difference.
A clever move.
He wants a sacrifice.
Swap our dash. Great blades, we lose that speed. Not a huge fan of that. Charge moves cause a falling blade, but use more magic. It does give us a lot more damage potential, but honestly, this is one of those cases where damage is not really the thing that we're lacking. I might be more concerned about sustaining the mana. Whereas this gives us more plasma, and at least when combined with you, that plasma gives us the magic back. So this uses more magic, this gives us more magic back. This might still have a little bit more offensive potential. This does make us faster, though, which is the key issue that we were just saying.
Peace can wait.
We were concerned about.
You've a defiant streak in you, young lady. One would be wise to hold in check.
Okay, well, try to do this. Trying to wait for you to drop, and move a little bit before using the special to activate that stuff. Ooh, hello. Ooh, that's a lot of stuff. Hoping that hits some of you. Ooh, that's a bad place to stand. Just barely avoided. Ah, that missed. Darn it. Okay, how many of those are you gonna make? Hopefully not that many. Excuse me. Oh, gotta go. Sorry. No. No time. I missed, unless I cut you in here, which I will now try to do. There we go. Oh, there are more enemies, though. I mean, that is kind of a thing that we willed into existence. Oh, that's a bad spot. Okay, never mind. That's also a bad spot. We are getting faster, though. There's that. That helps. When we can actually pull off the combo, it's quite good. But, as I was saying, that's a lot easier said than done. Who's left? Please don't do that. No, you did still hit me. Please go down. There we go. Okay. Honestly, it could have been worse. We took 25 damage. It definitely could have been worse.
You have weathered this storm, but do take heed not to get caught in it next time.
Okay, let's see. Could swap out the cast. Oh no, this is the supporting cast boon, is it? No, it's the straight up damage boon. I don't think we want to swap. It is higher rarity, so it is nice from that standpoint, but it's more of a damage over time. I don't know. You might be able to make a case for this. Lightning bolts repeatedly strike one foe at a time in the binding circle. But it's technically is going to count as the charged cast with our combo, as long as we actually pull that off. And that may mean it can hit more than one. Whereas this is all foes. All the time, for sure. Lightning can chain, but it primes a lot of magic. We do have a very strong lightning effect here. Oh no, it doesn't cause that to chain. It causes this 20 damage to chain, which is a lot less significant. This is actually pretty good, though. So we're going to use that a lot. Use magic a lot. If it weren't for 50 magic primed, I'd feel a little more willing to take this. If it were half that price, sure, but still don't really want to be doing that. Is this the penultimate room? Not sure that it is, actually. We would have to defeat you without taking any damage, which I am not so sure we can do, given what we were just experiencing there. Although, actually, do we still have the 21% speed from the plasma? We do. Which does help. So it is possible. You know what? We'll try it.
Interlopers.
Swifter Burner. You are definitely swifter, I will give you that.
Anchors.
Oh, that's not really where I wanted you to go. Or was it? Maybe it was. Okay, you are also creating some fire damage effects. No! Darn it! Right when we got rid of his armor. He's gonna die from potentially the next hit. That stinks. So close. Yeah. That stinks. Oh, so close. But instead... Oh, no, it does... Wait, what? It does still give it to us? I mean, we'll take it. I thought we had to go hitless. There are some other encounters like that that look very similar. Maybe some of them you need to not take damage, but that one you're actually okay. Okay, well, let's see what options we are getting this time. We do not have the duo boom potential, as we were suspecting would be the case. Whenever we use our Hex, we gain 50 armor until the blast. Useless. Hex fires +1 blast. Do like that one. If the enemy stays stagnant, that gives crazy burst damage potential. Against Typhon, at least, who is fairly stationary, if not completely stationary, that's very good. So I'd prefer to focus on the bottom half. But what about these guys, though? After using Hex, foes in the target area take +30% damage also would be good against Typhon, whereas this one, they move slower. And then you... 3 smaller blasts that deal little bits of damage after a half second. Okay, I think we're headed this way. I might just go straight into that, or... Starts up charge. This one does take a little bit of time to charge up, so that's not bad. And then... maybe... This doesn't give us great immediate value. Well, it could. We'll have it supercharged at the beginning. We do have Arcana cards that charge up a little bit automatically. But I guess we'll go here. And it's kind of similar in a way to our combo with our cast and our charge special. Because it also is slow but hard-hitting. Well, this is the penultimate room. Okay, ooh, that was a bad time to take all that damage in that case. I am going to be honest with you. As I think I mentioned last time we fought Eris, I'll mention again here. For whatever reason, Eris always throws me off. And so there have been runs where I have lost to even long after I've, fought Eris, become familiar with her mechanics. Even then, there have been times when going in with all my Death Defiances, I've lost a run at Eris. And this run is structured in a way that, I don't know.
Olympus, accept this message.
We do hit really hard, but we are very slow. While we have less than 40 health, our attacks and specials heal us. I feel like that's better for quick hitting attacks and specials. Because for our big combo, we're using one special. Using a cast and a big charge special. I don't know if we're healing for each enemy that is hit, or if we just get one life for that combo, in which case that's almost useless. Charge cast creates a blade rift. Now that is interesting. I wish it was higher rarity, but technically our cast is getting transformed into a charge cast when we use the combo. So it's an extra 30 damage every 1 second. I wish that number was higher. I honestly think we might just take this instead. Because yeah, the wound gives plus 50 power, and it can be reapplied after 3 seconds. Given how infrequently we're going to be attacking with our attack, and how slow the axe is, I think that's actually pretty okay. And we're going to get the bonus option here from Zeus.
In the name of Hades.
We get air quality, which means we do a minimum of 50 damage if we have 5 air boons. We do not yet have 5 air boons. Damage from charge moves immediately activates blitz effects and makes them stronger. That's actually ginormous. That's incredible, because we have the blitz effect on our special, which is incredibly powerful, given the levels and the rarity. However, hasn't been clear as to whether that's been activated immediately from the cast when we do the combo. The sequencing there is a little questionable. So to have it do 30% more damage, I mean, that's a big damage bonus. Would be more still, of course, if this were higher rarity, but having it activate immediately is quite useful. And then, since this wasn't going to do anything immediately anyway, this would make progress toward a future air quality, potentially. And I also don't know that we have many things that are doing small little increments of damage anyway. That's not really what our build is about, so I'm not sure, even if we did have 5 air boons right now, that would be that useful. Oh, but then the other one that we turned down, that I didn't really look at, the one at the bottom, makes it possible for lightning effects to hit twice. And I think in that case it would potentially have this activate twice, which would be incredible. I think we can afford to take this. Especially going into the boss fight, it means we can spam our combo with more or less reckless abandon, but the life is the concern. We still have not picked up any Centaur Hearts, I don't think. We got a little bit of extra life from Ashes, but that's about it. And then occasionally going through more rooms will give us some, but that's where I was coming from when I said, you know, well, we do have all of our Death Defiances, but I'm not great against Eris, and we do not have a ton of life right now, so I am a little concerned.
To the shore.
This could get very messy very quickly.
Target practice. Sure it's dark out there tonight, huh? Even the dead sailors on the rift look a little spooked. Maybe something's up?
There's fear in the air.
Indeed.
You defy the will of night too often, Eris. This time I'm not here merely for Olympus, but for you.
And she does have some ads, and so that will be affected by the fear.
You're telling me Nyx put you up to this? Right. She never cared about me, and she's not about to start now.
Alright. No, don't run away. Where'd you go? No, don't do that. We technically do get stronger after we use that, so it's not the worst thing to completely whiff. That might be the best window to hit you with a big combo, though. If I actually had hit you with the combo, that is. Oh, no, hold on. And the cast is pretty good for just setting and forgetting. That's one of the reasons why I'm so terrible against this fight, is I can never get the timing right for those types of things where she just... Clearly she's charging up an attack. That much is not lost on me. But as for when she's actually going to... Every time. As for when she's actually going to hit you with it, that always throws me off.
Come here, babe.
Okay, not in one of these. I was not aiming into one either. Play it more patiently. Okay, what's she doing? Hopefully standing there. Ooh, she also has a ton of range on this attack. Way more than you would think.
Everyone's invited.
Ooh, did she hit me? She did, technically speaking. Oh, that would have been a good time to use the Hex. Excuse me. Please actually stay. Stop moving right as I do that. It's really annoying. No. Didn't have the cast up. That hopefully still gonna hit you. You might have just dashed into it. You kind of did. I ate that one. Yeah, not doing a particularly good job of seeing where she's facing / what she's charging up with her attacks. That's greed. And I can't really afford to be that greedy. I shouldn't be doing that. She's still standing there? She is still standing there. Okay, now she's gonna enrage. I'm gonna do that. Ugh. Go away! No! This is what I mean, even when you're seemingly as far away as possible, she still can hit you. And this move always gets me. Nope, I got stuck. Okay. Should use this. I think she's gonna. No! She just barely avoided it. Oh, and that almost got me. Ah, yep. I couldn't see what she was up to there. Stop running at the most inconvenient possible times. Okay, now don't stand in that. That will deal ginormous damage if you do stand in it. And I was a buffoon in doing all those things right there. Where are you? That wasn't enough? There we go. Okay, we did use one Death Defiance, but honestly, I'll take that. Could have been worse. As I said, for whatever reason, this is the boss that more than any other I struggle against. Despite how she's relatively early in the run.
Mine.
So we'll take this. We'll get the Nightmare. That was the boss that we had to defeat to get that bonus, so that's nice. Then the random boon is from Hephaestus. Gain life based on our magic. Oh. Yeah, we have a lot of magic. That's quite useful. We'll take it. Suddenly, we have a lot more life, and that would have been helpful before going in here, but that's alright. That's okay. Losing one Death Defiance is not the end of the world. There's the chance we might even be able to purchase that back. Or, there's a particular goddess who might be able to give us a Death Defiance back as well. So we've already used you. We've yet to use the Moonbeam. That probably means that's what we'd go for here. I think so. Yeah, because we don't have a particular god or goddess that we're really looking for at this stage. For the most part, we've been fairly lucky getting gods and goddesses who I think work well with this weapon and this aspect. So let's do this.
Very well.
Oh, technically haven't used you yet. Get back up to full, that's nice. Okay, and now we can get a mystery boon. Why is this more expensive than that? What? That's weird. What the heck? And does the Hephaestus boon that we picked up, does that continue to be the case with subsequent magic upgrades that we get, or is that only stuff that the magic that we had received when we picked up the boon? So I mean, even if it was just a one-time thing and doesn't affect future magic gains, then that still was a ton. But
Shouldn't take too long.
we'll go for you guys. Okay. Don't have as much gold after splurging there, but I think that's okay. And I do think, in general, the more mobile enemies, the smaller, more mobile enemies are the ones we're going to have the most trouble with. So in that way, Eris was always going to be a bit of a tough matchup, whereas in some ways, this is a much stronger matchup for Typhon, oddly enough. Oh, okay. Now this is a little tricky. Yes, we could cash in the Moonbeam upgrade immediately, but I think we just have to cross our fingers. We're going to see Selene later on. It's a mystery boon. Okay, and we are getting this, which was from the previous floor, but has yet to show up. So, I think all the more reason for us to go with the hammer, which is harder to replace. It is irreplaceable, in a way. Why are you starting with such low life? I was really hoping I would be able to land on you. That was not the case. Okay, remember, the extra enemies in each encounter in a zone like this has the potential to be very tricky. I did not mean to do that, I meant to do that. There we go. Alright, so there is extra magic. Let's see if our life goes up as well. It does. Okay, so that's actually really good in that case. That's huge. Here, we're looking for ideally cast, but special could be good too. Final move of your attack. Sequence hits twice, but uses more magic. Charge special. Fires 2 times in succession, but uses more magic. Hold on, though. It's... yeah, it is charge special. Okay, the normal cast is getting turned into a charge cast, but we are just using a straight-up charge special. Fires 2 times in succession, but it uses more magic. Now, we haven't taken this before, so we'll get the prophecy progress, which is nice, but what I am not sure about is, obviously that means it's a little harder to spam the combo, because it's going to cost more to do that, but hopefully we're still going to be okay on that front. But if we have a cast on the ground, and we use this charge special, which now hits 2 times, is that going to set off 2 combos? Because if so, that is ludicrously strong.
Fine work as always.
Ah, sneaky golden urn. Okay, let's see. Theoretically, we should be able to test that out right now. Was that 2? It might be. I think it is. Okay, that's crazy incredible. Let's combine those 2 words together. So we can get a palm and potentially upgrade you would almost certainly be the best. But this does give us both magic and life, and both of those things are very meaningful right now. So it's actually not as straightforward. If this whiffs and hits something that's pretty useless, then that doesn't do us much good, although I think for the most part, some of the boons that we have, a fair number of them actually are not upgradable. This is not upgradable. Infusion is not upgradable. This is. So, there's a decent chance that we hit on something good, but I feel like I might actually prefer this right now. And I didn't quite hit all the enemies I was hoping it would hit. But yes, that does hit twice. So I think that is just about the best possible hammer upgrade that we could have asked for in that case. These guys are really nasty. But if you stay there, then you're not so bad. It's because that attack has crazy range, hits a bazillion times, and tracks you. Get you through this, though? I can. And I will. There's another one of you, though. Oh, hold on. Now's not the time. Nope, nope, stay there. Stay there. Thank you.
Special delivery.
We had a bunch of those deliveries that we were waiting on. So this one is the magic that we knew was going to come from this specific room. Oh, and I forgot about the extra gold that drops from enemies sometimes. Hopefully I didn't miss any of that. This is the Hermes delivery, though, and this is where we can guarantee we'll cash in the Moonbeam. Which is why I felt a little bit better about passing up on it before. So, more damage after using the Hex, does more damage, and it fires the extra blast after a longer delay. Then we have 5 more points to work with here. What was this one? We gain armor. Honestly, I think we could just skip this one altogether. Which means we could go here. Those move 80% slower. It's 3. That's 4. We could get both of these. And along the way, pick up having it be even more. Wait, how charged is it? 40%. Surely you can't have it start with 120% charged right off the bat, right? Probably makes a point of limiting how many of those particular types of boons show up. Okay, so we take this, and then we have 1 point to spare. And now, at this point, I think we feel okay about passing on Selene for the most part. At this stage, we've gotten all the things that we would like to get. Larger area of effect is nice, though. Oh, we have a couple of those here. It just makes it easier to hit. We've seen already on a few occasions. We've just barely missed some enemies. Just see if we were to get a few more points. More damage, more area of effect. Okay. So yeah, the big thing we'd gain for more Selene is probably area of effect stuff. Okay, so it's Apollo or it's a Palm. At this point, we kind of have all of the primary boons that we're looking for. Now, if there were some sort of support boons, duos, legendaries, then of course wouldn't say no to those. Some might be more relevant than others, but in some ways, you could make the case that now upgrading this cast or further upgrading this special would be the most impactful things for us. Or even finding ways to get the plasma just a little more reliable. So where I'm going with this is, oddly enough, this might actually be better to go with the Palm, but hey, it's still hard to say no when, in most cases, it's better to get the boon. Okay, that might have been not necessary. Perhaps better save for later on if there is another wave, because there surely is. Those guys are also really nasty. For similar reasons, they can just do crazy bursts of damage. And now it's nothing but all these types of guys. Now that's delayed though. Oh, there's the little ones. And there's the big one.
That light.
Okay. Now we'll take this.
Hear me, on my authority.
And we can swap out the attack for higher rarity. It's more in terms of just the straight up damage. But once you factor in the wounds, it's a little less straightforward. More damage if we haven't taken damage in a long time. And this seems to affect all of our types of skills. So that actually could be good. If we don't get hit at the very beginning of the encounter, then it does give our full combo 15% extra damage, which might be just enough to kill some enemies who would have otherwise been hanging on by a thread. So I think we might go for this then.
Better.
And then Shade to Compel.
Don't be frightened.
This is going to be lightning fast. So there's a bunch of these. There we are.
Rest easy now.
A possible ally.
Indeed. Okay, so now magic, which also gives life, or mini-boss that gives high rarity Apollo boon. We're doing better when it comes to our life right now, and it is full, for which I am grateful. I have definitely not fought every mini-boss on this floor. However, I think generally if you haven't fought a mini-boss before, it'll have a little scroll icon because it works toward one of the prophecies. So the fact that this doesn't have a scroll suggests that this is a mini-boss that I've seen. But do I remember which ones we might find ourselves facing? But, I mean, as I was saying just before going into this room, the palm, you could make the case, was actually potentially going to be more valuable than the Apollo boon, and you could potentially still make that case, depending on how often we get this up. And you could make a similar argument for this magic as well. Yes, this is a higher rarity Apollo boon, true, but we're likely to take at least some damage in this encounter, and this gives us both max magic and life, and that is kinda nice. Okay, we'll do it. Okay, this is not the one I wanted.
Remember me, Talos?
I remember, I've only fought him once before, and I remember it was tough. And I do not remember how he works mechanically. Just that he was tough. So, we'll see. Can you please stand still? Thank you. They do seem to very much like to chase us. Excuse me. I feel like we drop that in the middle and there's a decent chance that you're gonna walk into it. Although you just used all your ranged attacks, and so you didn't walk into it at all. All you had to do was move forward ever so slightly. The extra area of effect, as we were saying before. Maybe that would come in handy. Definitely would have on that occasion. Okay, so you have ranged attacks where you throw your spears. And then, ooh, I don't know what that is. That was a vacuum cleaner effect that somehow we resisted. But if you could stay here, there we go. Boom. Hex was huge. Talos vanquished. We used a block, I think, but otherwise did not take any damage, which is very nice. I think I might have even... I remember the one other time I fought him, I at least took a ton of damage, if not used a Death Defiance in the process.
In the name of Hades.
Okay, let's see. Foes with Daze take more damage if struck from behind. Not really sure how often we can make a point of doing that. After we take damage, this is the Revenge boon. Otherwise, our attack has a chance to hit twice. Just don't know that... Like, anything that is attack-specific, I'm not very keen on taking because we are very rarely using that attack. The Daze right now is what, coming from our dash, primarily? I don't know if it's really coming from anything else, though. So I don't know that this... And if they were dazed, then that is crazy additional damage. I mean, if we were to dash and then soon thereafter have someone get hit by... No, I don't think the Hex is capable of doing backstab damage. Otherwise, doubling this Hex would be insane. I think we might just go with the Revenge boon. I think it's the most likely to actually do something for us. And then, oddly enough... This is 25 life. This is 30 magic plus how much life? What is the rate at which we are converting? Oh, it's only 30%? Okay. So, this definitely is still more life. But this is theoretically more total value, unless you say, oh, we have so much magic at this point that it's not even necessary. Though, I mean, look right here at how much magic we used in that encounter. That was a mini-boss. So it was longer than a usual fight, but we used more than half of our magic, and against a full-blown boss, you would think we'd use even more still. So I think you legitimately can make a case for this, because we do have a magic restoration boon. However, this magic restoration boon is possibly the weakest when it comes to pure magic restoration, and possibly the best when it comes to... Oh, that was bad. When it comes to the other bonuses that it can provide. You have extra speed that comes from picking up the plasma. There's more waves, and there's more plasma. Ooh, don't mind me. bad. Get hit by this instead. I kind of missed on that, but hopefully we're still... There's another wave! I mean, we did make it so that a bunch of enemies were going to show up in each encounter. Oh, the other thing, I forget if I said this at the beginning, but one thing that I was wondering about was... Oh, that was... Yep, block. One thing that I was wondering about was if... Because there are more enemies, does that also functionally mean that we're getting more gold here? I feel like there's going to be Athena in this encounter, because this is way longer than usual. Yep, and usually that means that Athena is going to come in and do this. We did end up taking some damage. We did end up using some of the blocks, unfortunately, but Athena definitely could make up for that, because she has some amazing potential. And then here is 30 magic and some more life as well. So we're up above 200, which I think is a good number to be at before Prometheus, and we may get even more still before then.
So Ares has decided to participate in our family activities after all, ever willing to compromise. For if one everlasting war cannot be had, he'd settle for an outcome that ensures more wars are still to come.
That is an interesting point. He does have a bit of a conflict of interest here.
I know your views of war are not the same as his, but I will not decline his power on the basis of beliefs. Which means I'm willing to compromise too, if doing so brings victory.
True. And also, obviously Ares is the god of war. However, I feel like there are some ways in which, to a lesser extent, Athena is also kinda sorta a semi-goddess of war as well.
Be careful with that line of thought, cousin. Compromising to achieve consensus is one thing, but compromising on beliefs or principles, on ideals, such reasoning is how wars often start, not merely end.
Obviously, wisdom is her main thing, but she has a role in wars, being the goddess of wars as well, to a lesser extent, I think, maybe. Your special also launches a projectile that can deflect, rearming after 2 seconds. We do have we're using the special a lot, so for that to deflect could be quite useful. Dash deals damage to foes in your path and can momentarily deflect. This was a boon in Hades 1, and it was possibly the single best boon in Hades 1, because deflect does help you defensively, and when it's coming on your dash, which is the main thing you're using defensively, that's very good. Whenever you use 90 magic, which we are using pretty regularly, up to 3 foes are struck by spears from the heavens, which do 250 damage. Ooh. So, Athena does have some really strong boons, and some of these are incredible. Defensively, this is, without a doubt, the best option. Offensively, this is sort of the middle ground. Offensively, it'd be this, although I am kind of wondering to what extent this may be a little bit redundant with our combo. You know, is it going to hit enemies who are about to take the burst damage from Heaven Flourish anyway, and so it doesn't actually make that much of a difference? There's a chance that's the case against bosses. That is perhaps just free damage. We could reroll. I had said in passing, maybe this is going to be entering minor spoiler territory, but we did lose a Death Defiance. There's one way you can purchase them back from the mini shops. They're expensive, but that is possible to do. Another thing you can potentially get is for Athena to restore not just one, but all of your Death Defiances. She does have some Death Defiance-oriented boons, and that is perhaps the most significant of all of them. So I don't know that that's worth fishing for here, but we could consider re-rolling. I feel like we are not dashing that often, to be honest with you, because it takes so long to pull off the combo that if we can deflect while we are doing it, that helps cover for when we are most vulnerable. So I might actually get a little unorthodox here and go with that. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and in truth, the best option is still to just go with the dash. It was the safe choice, without a doubt. Let's see, is this the penultimate room? I'm actually not sure if it is. But we have... I'm based on the location number, I don't think it is, to be honest with you. But based on how much gold we have, I feel like we could still purchase aggressively here and from the penultimate shop if this is not the last one. It is not the last one, I don't think.
Something to procure.
And we can procure here, and then we can get more gold. So, okay, even if we spend aggressively, we can still make up for that. Yeah, there's a palm there, but I think we'll probably end up going gold. hold on.
Here, fishy.
Last one was lightning fast. A little less so this time.
I got a star sailor.
This is a pretty funny name. So many of the fish have really clever names. Okay, so whatever we get first, we're going to get a duplicate of. So let's do this.
Olympus, I accept this message.
And we can get Rallying Cry. And I have mentioned this either in the previous run or the one before that. Ares Infusion is incredibly powerful. While you have at least 8 Earth Boons, so it has a very high threshold. Usually, it's at most 6 from other people, if not less than that. So we have 5 at the moment. But if we're about to get an extra boon here, then we may be able to get closer to this. Any of your damaging effects from Olympians are 50% stronger. I mean, that's just so incredibly good. Whenever foes with wounds take damage, they have a 12% chance to spill plasma, so we could load up on even more plasma synergies. Oh, and we saw this is technically a supporting cast boon. So this does not replace our existing cast. So that is nice. I did turn this down before because I thought that it was his main cast boon, and thought the delayed-ish nature of it might not have been great, although to a certain extent that is also the case with our existing cast. So I think all these could be good. This one's a little bit tough to work, though, because the way we're applying wound is only from our attack, which, again, we're not using very often. So I think it's one of these two. This is a little speculative, but we'll go for it. And if we get an Earth Boon here, which that looks to be the case, then we can get closer to it. We could take this one. Foes with wounds may suffer crazy additional damage when struck. It's 10% chance. That's actually a lot more than I thought that would be. And in this case, it does seem like that is possible for that to proc on the Hex. We would have to have attacked the enemy recently when the Hex lands, and then it would have a 10% chance of proccing. So it'd be still pretty unlikely, or at least it would take a long time to set it up. But I think we go for the meat grinder here. That's pretty safe value. And then we potentially might have wanted to have done this first because it's a slice. We can't control where it lands, and it's more likely to land on good stuff if we do it early on. What did it land on? The Revenge Boon? Ugh, okay. Yeah, not great. And we'll take you. Now we have a lot of life. And I think, given how much we just spent, and how much we can potentially still spend in the next shop, I think it does make sense to go here. Ooh, not a fan. Ooh, and I did not realize you were doing that attack. That was very lucky that that did not hit. I was snoozing. I was snoozing on the job. When we already had our deflect at least help us on one occasion. Oh, not where I want to be standing. Excuse me. There we go.
All right.
Okay. Extra gold from that. Just make sure if there were any other little bits of gold that the enemies drop that we pick those up. We can go gold again. We did spend like 300 in the previous shop, which means if we do that again in the next shop, maybe even more than that. If we do that in the next shop, we'll be fairly low. We would be able to do that, but we'd be fairly low. So if there were to be a mini shop, well, there will be a mini shop after Prometheus, then we might be a little bit limited in what we could purchase there. So, although this is 100 gold and this is worth 125 gold, I think I may still go for this. Okay, what are we dealing with here? What are you guys doing? Okay, I'll like my plasma, please. Oh, that's not a statue that I can invoke. I saw you all right next to it and thought, oh, that'd be a great opportunity to invoke there. And also, that was unfortunate that that had to be a block. I got stuck on the corner. That was good timing. And so was that.
Almost finished.
Come on. There we go.
Here you go.
Huh? Oh, that was from a long time ago. I completely forgot about this random boon. It's Ares again, which means more Earth potential. Oh, hold on.
My Lord Father and I, we were in the midst of a discussion that I felt ought not to wait, concerning what I learned whilst visiting more distant lands.
Sounds like this is about to be Zeus Ares duo, which I don't think I've seen before. As I may have mentioned before, Ares was the boon-giving god that got added to the game most recently in early access, so have the least experience with him for the most part.
Oh, calm yourself on that account, Ares. We had best deal with matters close to home prior to worrying about that which may be amiss in distant corners of the world. We'll deal with them in time.
Okay, so what do we have here? Inflicting wounds can also inflict all of your after you take damage effects. So, it's unfortunate because everything that's wound-centric is relying on our attack, and that's just still not what we're trying to build around here, and actually, duo is a different category here, so if we were to go with anything else, we would get progress toward this infusion, wherever you are, which is definitely a lot more impactful than this duo boon would be. Unless we continue to build around wounds with other stuff, with this at least. I guess we'll take it, but I legitimately think that is suboptimal. You know, this is going to be the penultimate room. And Hephaestus definitely could give us Earth-related stuff. In fact, I think his infusion is based on Earth boons as well. But it's hard to turn down the shop when we are still on 600 plus gold and have that potential to purchase extra stuff from this shop. So I think we're still going here. Ooh, and a couple golden urns. Okay, technically we are not quite at full life, but we are extremely close to it. So the healing is... By the time we walk in that room, it would mean we had 3 more health than we would have otherwise had. I think we'll save our monies. We'll buy you first because we get the discount.
Olympus, I accept this message.
And this is a much bigger deal. I have had this before, and it is incredible. Any plasma spilled has an improved potency and is drawn to you automatically, so we don't need to run around to pick it up. It just comes back to us automatically, and it also gives us 100% better movement and strike speed, and it is an Earth boon. So that is fantastic, and if we get 1 more Earth boon, we can activate this. So we'd love to see that here. Hephaestus. Oh, well, this is his infusion. Your attack and special deals more damage for each Earth boon you have. So, because we currently have 7, it's 35% extra damage on the attack and the special. The attack, again, not a huge deal. The special, though, that is convenient. But 35 damage versus 50, at least in the short term, it would be better to take an Earth boon. However, this is fairly rare, whereas getting some variety of Earth boon in the future is... It's actually going to become a little bit difficult on the next floor, assuming we do make it past Prometheus, but it should be possible. So, what are the alternatives at the start of the encounter? We get 125 armor for the first 7 seconds. It's more or less supposed to be that you can just be super aggressive, and it's not quite invulnerability for that first 7 seconds, but it's close to it, assuming that the enemy isn't able to break through 125 damage in 7 seconds. Otherwise, our weapon deals more damage based on our armor, and we have some now, which I'm not a huge fan of. The whole idea behind this is so that you can get more aggressive at the beginning of the encounter. For the most part, we're just immediately going into our combo, and sometimes we are getting hit before we can pull it off, so it would help in that situation. Long boss fight, obviously, it doesn't do that much for us. I think we'll still take it.
Strength of Earth.
In some ways, you're going to benefit a lot, regardless of what you take there. And then Meat Grinder, that was a pretty good one, wasn't it? The Rift damage. from the charge cast. I don't remember what... I think it was 40 damage before, now it's 50. Okay, we'll save our money here, and that way, if there is a super shop after this encounter, then we can potentially still buy some stuff there. Maybe even expedite the delivery. Which, oh, okay, if I'd thought about it that way, that would have been the case to be made for going with the infusion and trying to get an Earth Boon immediately after this fight, because I was just thinking, it's hard to do that. It's hard to get short-term... It's hard to quickly get boons on the next floor, because you get some for the mini-boss fights, potentially, but otherwise you have to wait until the very end at the super shop. But anyways, here comes Prometheus.
Guess who?
Guess who?
You do know Dora, don't you? She and some brother of yours, they were wed. And somehow this resulted in her letting loose all sorts of demons in the mortal world.
That is one telling of it, more or less. So she remembers finally, perhaps with great regret. After all this time, mortals still cannot decide whether to blame themselves or gods for their plight.
Oh, they should blame only gods. Take no responsibility for their own wretched state. Not even Dora would do that, and she's one of the most complacent beings I know. In an impressive way.
It wasn't an insult, I swear.
Your companion Dora remembers some of the events, but this does not mean she understands any of them. Her actions pitted mortal kind against itself forever.
Oh. Yeah, you know, that's not great. Yeah. So, obviously the Eris fight was tricky. I feel like Prometheus mechanically is going to be a little bit better for us with our build, but we're about to find out. Oh, to use some resistance on that, that's not great. Just kind of waiting for you to do something I was more confident was going to lead to standing still for a long time. Try to get that in the corner. And then I'll do this. Which, at least if I stay here for a little while, yes, should hit you. Oh, no, don't run away now. Ooh, well, that was a bad place to put that. It could have been worse. Thought it was going to be really bad. Oh, what? What did he even do? Ah, right as the cast was expiring, unfortunately. Ah, I made it worse. Okay, here we go. Middle. Or bottom, bottom, middle. Here we go. Should have given myself a little more wiggle room there. By not putting it right on the edge, because yeah, probably would have hit him the second one as well if not for that. Hold on. Yeah, I know you're doing that. Alright, place him in the corner. You're still here. Let's change that. Nope, don't dodge out of that right as I'm trying to set you up for the combo. It's rude. He's gonna, yeah, do this. Top, middle, top, middle, top. Basically just alternate between these two repeatedly, right? Okay, that was kind of nice. That did make it easier. Not gonna lie. Here. Please stay in the circle. Okay. I think that was still worth it. We are also getting stronger as the fight goes on, just based on how many plasmas we pick up. Oops, that was bad. Ah, that was really bad. Waiting for a good time to... Ooh, it's been a while since I've seen you use that. Waiting for you to do something that makes it easier. Oh, that would have been a good window to do that. That was bad, too. And sloppy at the end here. So we should have been able to finish that off a little more cleanly, but
Famous wrath of Olympus.
not too bad.
It cannot easily be stopped, you see.
Wrath of Olympus.
This was to be my future.
I'll show you the Wrath of Olympus. Says the Titan of Foresight. This is to be my
Lick
future.
your wounds. A gift.
Take this. And then if you factor in the healing just from walking through this door and then the well, I think we're going to be at full life. If not extremely close to it by the time we actually next face enemies.
Reagent over there. Good job.
Oh. Have I ever seen mineable rocks in here? I'm not sure if I have. That seems out of the ordinary. Okay, so I just want to see... Oh, we have to use this first. Okay, fair enough. We don't need to do anything with keepsakes beforehand. Yeah, not quite full life. Did we... Yes, we did get the moonbeam effect already. Okay, so now, final floor, we're looking at likely either the luckier tooth or the knuckle bones. I think we determined last time, after doing a little bit of mental math, that this is still, in most cases, going to give you more total life, whereas this is going to give you some effective life when you factor in that you're taking less damage, but not as much as you would get from going luckier tooth in most situations, unless you have a crazy amount of life that you're getting from... Or actually, yeah, unless you have a crazy amount of life to mitigate with the reduced damage from Guardians, but you deal that 15% damage, which against Typhon, that is saying something. That is quite a bit. But in some ways, as I was saying before, I feel like, I don't want to jinx it, but knock on wood, this build should be pretty good against slower, bigger enemies like Typhon. And as I was saying, I was anticipating that would be a bit of the case with Prometheus, at least relative to Eris, and although it got a little sloppy at the end, that still felt, for the most part, like that was the case. So, I think we'll go... Oh, actually, the reason why I wanted to check this first was because I wanted to see what our options here might be. So yeah, Mystery Boon, if we had gotten something like this, which obviously is a little bit speculative, but we see it here now, do this, expedite the delivery, and whatever it is, take an Earth Boon from it. That could have been a way to, at least after the Prometheus fight, but before the Typhon fight, guarantee is a strong word, because that's a lot of things we're speculating, but reach the 8 Earth threshold for this, while still taking the infusion from Hephaestus in the previous encounter. So, I think... Let's go... we'll go here.
Well.
Not sure it makes that big of a difference. So we will want this... We might actually have to expedite this delivery. Because it is possible to get stuff that does not appear in time on this floor. 4 encounters, I think, should be enough. There's a chance 6 might not cut it, though. It'd be very close, I think. So... And then this... Oh, man. If this were delivered after 4, that'd actually be incredible. Because then we are almost certainly going to take a fair share of damage from the mini-bosses. So if we could heal off the damage from that just before going into the Typhon fight, that'd be great. But 6 encounters, as I said, is... I don't know that that's gonna be coming in time. Maybe it's cheap enough that it's still worth giving it a shot, but let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And I am going to expedite it.
Yes, it is.
My regards.
It's Ares. And we may be running low on Ares boons. Because we're seeing a lot of repeats and, in some cases, sacrifices as well. When we have less than 40 life, our attacks and specials give us some leech. Yeah, so this would have been the source of Earth boons. So, in hindsight, if we could have predicted that we were going to get those various options, then we would have approached things a little bit differently, but, you know, we can't. We are not the Titan of Foresight. And we basically used all of our monies. So Super Shop might be a little tough to get value from,
Turning against the gods.
but I think there's something to be said for front-loading what we spend our money on so that we can actually benefit right from the onset of this floor, because this floor is challenging, and we may, of course, find ourselves getting some monies along the way. Okay. What do we have first? A whole bunch of projectiles. Oh, that looks bad. Yup. Dash through it. Oh, I did not see that you were still there. I was like, why has the encounter not ended yet? Okay, so yeah, that room alone gave us a fair bit of monies. Like, almost 100. We do actually have a little bit of extra coin earning potential, so that does help. Started doing a charged attack. That's not what we're looking for.
Enough.
Okay, anything else in here? No. And now it's a mini-boss, and we have to decide Hephaestus or Selene. And I think we were saying Selene, we can get extra area of effect, and a little bit of extra damage, but for the most part, we've taken all the things that we want to take from Selene. So I think Hephaestus is probably the right choice here, and we may end up finding that Hephaestus infusion. Just, that's somewhat unlikely since it is a rare boon. But hey, it's high rarity boon drop here, so we'll see which mini-boss do we get. We get you. Feel like that might be better for our build. Was good. So yeah, he does have several times where he stands still like this, which could be good for potentially setting up a combo, or the Hex, which obviously can get a big burst. I'm gonna wait for him to do that again. Which he should do more or less now. Ooh, nope, that was a resistance. Oh, I want to kite you back in there. Darn it. I'm surprised that didn't go quickly enough. Which one is this? Okay, it's this one. That's the charge. Just a little hard to get the timing right on this. Maybe that's quick enough. Hopefully it is. Especially if you start doing basic attacks. Well, you changed your sequencing. Do have another Hex, but let's go with this. Oh, we don't have enough magic. Well, there you go. It does happen sometimes against difficult fights like this, tough encounters. But we didn't take that much damage. We got hit once, I think. Which obviously does still equate to a fair bit of damage, but let's see what we get out of this.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Infusion would be very nice. We can swap over to your attack. Did we take the duo boon? I know we were saying, not so great. We did. Okay. So we don't want to get rid of our only source of that. Attacks and specials deal more damage to armor. There could still be a few armored enemies. Are any of the mini-bosses armored? Some of the ads in the mini-boss encounters might be. And then even in the Typhon fight, when he has a full-blown ads phase, some of them might have armor as well. Otherwise, this is more of a long-term thing you'd like to get early on in a run. We could reroll here. We still have 2 rerolls. So you know what? This is not horrible, but I think it's worth giving this another shot. Because this is what I want to see. Okay, and now we have 9 Earth Boons, so that is giving us a ton of value, at least on the special. It doesn't work on the cast, unfortunately. If it did, it would be unbelievable.
Set.
should still be quite good, though. Lots of golden urns here. That does help with the monies, and then fish.
The hunt begins.
Hold on. Ooh, quick one.
Nasty storm gullet.
Okay, and now here, no rewards, no choice. Just head straight on in.
To the top.
Okay, those, yeah, that's a great way to just take silly damage right at the beginning. However, it did give a ton of additional plasma, as we see here. We're already a whole bunch faster than usual. Okay, here's the extra heart. One that we didn't expedite. Okay, those will explode. No. No, don't think we need that. No reward here. I love where we find ourselves currently. Oh, that was not great. 0 blocks left. Also not great. But that enemy is dead. Okay, that's a trap. Don't step on that. Then we can go Super Palm. We're not doing this. We don't have enough fear to even try it. We can either go Hephaestus, which we got the big Hephaestus boon we were looking for. I don't remember what his legendary does, but theoretically we would, I believe, be eligible for that, or potentially even some duos. But that's somewhat speculative. We do have a reroll remaining, so we could potentially fish for it a little bit. Otherwise, we can save it for the super shop, which with 300 plus gold, we could get maybe 1 or 2 boons from that. But there is actually a chance that whatever boon appears there is going to be a super boon that we can't afford, unless we do get a fair bit more monies. But I think this is, after this mini-boss, we go straight into the super shop, don't we? I don't think there's anything after it. So go in Super Palm. If it were to land on you, that'd be ideal. I think we can re-roll the palm as well, can't we? So we could try to force that one. So I think you can make a case for either of these. Either one has the potential to brick. I mean, we saw there are some pretty not-so-great Hephaestus boons that we could end up with, so maybe we do go for this.
A few more floors.
Okay, which mini-boss is this? Okay, we've not seen you for a little while. May not have seen you since the full release. In which case, well, this is another one of the mini-bosses. And by mini-boss, I mean, well... Oh, uh-oh, hold on. Dash through. Now we go here. It's a very good window to do this. Those deal damage. Also, oh, hold on. Okay, I was going to say, I did not see what you were doing. But you're going to do this now. Dodge here, and you dodge here. And you do this. Gives you a little bit of a window to attack. Now what are you doing? Chasing us? Yeah, you're chasing us. Ah, that was bad. I was trying to time it. Trying to be clever with the timing so that we weren't going to get hit by one of these. While at the same time, also not getting hit by your blast, which you are now charging up. Usually you do this after. Yep. Which means dodge 1, dodge 2, set up a combo. That would also be a good time to at least hit you with one basic attack. Creating more of these guys. Would be a good window to hit you with a basic attack, because technically we have a debuff that we get when we do that. I got stuck. Oh, you're doing a blast. No, you're not doing a blast. You're doing more of this. Oh, hold on. Dodge 1, dodge 2, do this, do this, do this. I forgot to use the X. But if we can keep you over here... No, you're doing the blast. Okay, never mind. The blast does also explode those little things, which is why I wanted to not stand right next to it. Ooh. That also explodes them. Yeah, so there's just a lot of stuff we want to do in this very short window of time, which does make it a little bit tricky, but there we go. So we got hit by a few of the attacks, but honestly not too bad. I do prefer this of the various of the two potential mini bosses you can get at the in the second encounter. This is the one that I prefer. I have a little more practice with it. We did get our delayed health just in time. That's exactly what I was saying would have been ideal, was right after the mini bosses, but before Typhon. And now here, we can get more plasma dropping from when we hit enemies. We can get more damage if we haven't been hit recently, or we can have our charge moves give us an additional bonus for all of our charge moves. Wait, no. Charge moves automatically, immediately activate Blitz. That remains the case. It's the damage bonus for Blitz Omega attacks. So yeah, specifically this gets boosted, which is nice, but I am wondering if it's worth trying to reroll here and maybe landing on the cast, or do we just say, this is good enough, and then in the super shop at the end, we have one potential reroll? Because at least this isn't a brick. We could reroll and land on a brick. So I think we at least avoid that. And did I pick up the little crafting resource here? I did. Okay. So we have almost 350. If we were to get to 350, that might be an important threshold for purchasing some stuff. So I'm kind of hoping there's at least one golden urn here.
How about a resupply?
Lord Hermes.
Hello, Hermes. Don't mind me. No golden urns over there. There's actually a chance for there to be a little bit over there, but okay, we'll talk to you first.
So, what did you think of Pop's Palace? Finally got to see the glory with your own eyes. A serious accomplishment, given you're not supposed to be up here at all.
The Palace of Zeus wasn't like any place I'd ever seen. It's very beautiful, but very bright. I don't know how you all could live up there, but you must feel the same about where I'm from.
Well, I, for one, quite like it dark, but I've spent more time in the underworld than everybody else up here combined. As for the palace, at least it's kept us safe in all of this.
That's true.
Let's keep it that way.
Okay, so hold on as I search for, yes, golden urn does get us up above 350. The first thing we purchase is discounted, and we will get a copy of it. So the math here is a little tricky. We don't need the healing. We probably will pass on the armor. We can't afford the Charon card. So the question is mostly to palm or not to palm. Because if we do this, then sure, we'll get a copy of something, but we probably can't afford the copy unless it's a base palm, which I guess is possible. We are technically getting the most value out of our discount by buying the most expensive thing that we can afford there. But this feels like a better option. You could actually make the case for this, because remember, this gives us a lot of magic and a ton of, a ton of magic and some decent life as well. And we saw in one of those mini-boss encounters we did run out of magic. So that is potentially an issue. And then if that does happen, we can potentially still pick up plasma to get some back, and in that case, the best way to do so is just hitting enemies with basic attacks, pretty much, it seems. And then if we kill enemies, that'll also drop some, wherever that one is. And I think if we take damage ourselves, we get a little bit. So if we do reach 0 magic, it is still possible to get some back, but it's not ideal. So we do this. What is this going to go? I think we do this. And then we do still have enough for this. Gets us to exactly 400 magic and 290 life, and we can still afford you. That's a Charon card as well, which is nice. After your charge cast expires, rapidly deal damage in area for 2 seconds. That is nice. Yeah, that's actually really nice, because remember, our combo counts as a charge cast. And then we were saying this doesn't seem to work all that well with what we're rocking, and then similar with that. So yeah, I think that's fine. That works pretty well. Alright. So now we're going into Typhon. We have lost one of our Death Defiances. Obviously, we put on the luckier tooth, so we get one back from that. I do feel like our damage is pretty good against him because we have big area of effect, burst damage, that he's not really gonna dodge. We are, of course, vulnerable as we are using that, so we need to be careful about that, because he has some very powerful attacks, some attacks that can shotgun us for huge damage, and he will at times summon in adds as well. We also have a Hex that can do crazy damage to enemies who stay in one area, and he does, for the most part, stay in one area. So, we'll see. Here goes nothing.
The fortress of the gods.
Hey, Typhon. How are you? Get that down early, because once we have done it, we get bonus damage for the rest of the encounter, which is nice. Dodge that. He does have wind that is blowing me to the left side of the arena right now, which is one of the ways that it can be a little tough to, oh, hold on, avoid some of his stuff and set up our combos. Okay, but first adds phase. Pretty quickly at that. I think that's a good sign. Whoa, I don't remember seeing that before. But here are the armored adds that I was alluding to before. They do exist. Try not to waste magic on these guys. Ooh, run out of the way. Still just doing single hits on that. Once we get hit the Zeus phase, he will do 2 of those. That's, I think, his single biggest hitting attack. It can do over 100 damage, I think. Here is the Zeus phase. And we have the Hex ready to go. So that's good timing. So I think we go that, this, hit you with the attack so you get a debuff. And I feel like that phase may not necessarily have a fixed amount of life, or rather may not have a fixed duration. It might be a fixed amount of life, because that went by pretty quickly, and I think that is because we dealt such huge burst damage to him. At least I suspect that might be the case. I don't know if we can hit him with Hex in this phase, so I'm deliberately going to hold back for now. This might be the one instance where it doesn't really work that way. Ooh. Again, armored adds. Opportunity to potentially farm up a little bit of the plasma. Ooh, that was close. And that was annoying. Wait, now he's going to do 2. That's 1, that's 2. Oh, big hit. And these guys spawned right on top of me. Uh-oh. I charged into that. Oh, I forgot we have the healing to restore a little bit of the life that we lose, which is nice in situations such as this. Oh, that was really bad. That was unbelievably bad. See how much damage he can do right there in quick bursts. Dodge 1, dodge 2.
He's losing control.
Oh? Is he now? Dodge 1. No, I dodged too early. Dodge out of the way. Stop summoning those, they're annoying. Dodge 1, dodge 2. Hex. No, don't spawn those right on top of me. Doesn't matter, he's down. Typhon vanquished. There we go. All right. So that is our second successful run going up as of the full release. And only, I think, my second successful run overall with the axe, including early access. I think my first successful run with the axe going up. So we'll take it. And we will proceed to this new area. The path to the palace.
To all my family on the mountain, let me pass.
we get to take in
the sun.
The beauty of the summit and the palace. And that is noteworthy, I suppose, the sun. Yeah, if you live in the underworld or the pseudo-underworld for your whole life, then I suppose the sun is not something you're seeing on the regular.
Ahead lies the well-hidden and protected palace of the king and queen of all the gods, that stronghold from which Olympus has fought back against all too many terrible foes.
Keep holding on.
Keep holding on. I mean, there is that extra barrier that we just had to break through. I don't know to what extent that actually helps against the likes of Typhon. Back to the palace. All the statues. And it was Apollo singing last time. I assume that's still the case here.
Welcome.
We welcome you.
So I am curious to see if in the future we get different combinations of gods and goddesses up here in the palace. Zeus and Hera, that makes sense. If anything, you would think they would be the ones who would always be here since they're the king and queen. But Apollo, I mean, it's nice to have a minstrel, yes, but might there at times be other people?
Moonlight guides you.
Yes, we got that monstrous fiend once more, young lady, thanks most certainly to you. Such courage in the face of catastrophe. And our palace remains safe and secure, and further reinforced should Typhon try for us again.
Okay.
You were splendid, my dear. Had things grown any more dire, we were preparing for a last resort a son of ours developed.
Oh.
But the cost of it is high indeed. Thus, you have saved us in more ways than one.
Okay, now I'm curious what that would have been.
It's my pleasure to have been of service to our family, Queen Hera, and to see the wonders of these halls once more. Perhaps we may yet permanently dissuade Typhon soon.
And what do you have in mind on that account? Our own research has yet to yield the force that could take Typhon without also taking this entire mountain down. He's even fiercer now than when he first attacked us long ago.
I've gathered useful specimens of Typhon's flesh, and we've been studying how we can use it in our craft. But we don't yet have meaningful progress to share.
Yeah, okay. See, this is what I'm glad that we're hearing now, but we didn't hear when we were going down into the underworld after defeating Kronos. Melinoe saying, hey, we have some resources we can potentially use, but we still have yet to figure out what the correct solution is. Whereas when we went down, Melinoe was like, oh yeah, no, we haven't talked about this at all yet, but I've suddenly masterminded this plan that for some reason I hadn't discussed with anyone, but I'm going to reveal to you right now out of nowhere. So I like that there's a little bit more of this uncertainty and this brainstorming, this gradual build-up before we have our breakthrough in this case. It feels more realistic.
Oh, come now. Driving back that monster more than once is progress meaningful enough. My lord husband thought that your first such victory could have simply been a fluke.
Excuse me, Zeus?
Now, what I said, dear wife, was that a single victory against Typhon did not prove more such victories could be achieved. But now you've demonstrated otherwise, Melinoe, and spurred our hope that we shall rid ourselves of this foul menace soon enough.
King Zeus, Queen Hera, by your leave I ought return with what I found, in case it leads to new discoveries about how we can do just that. Thank you all for your continued aid.
Yeah, Zeus was like, Hera, that's not exactly how I phrased it. Don't make me look bad.
You have our gratitude in kind.
Okay.
May moonlight guide us.
Anything else around here? Oh, I'm not sure if we took note of the statues of Zeus and Hera last time. They're at the very end, which, again, makes sense with them being king and queen. And I think we must need to talk to Apollo to leave, so I suppose it's not even optional.
It's good to see you again, cousin. Just as I was beginning to fear my song would be tonight's sole source of cheer.
Lord Apollo, good to see you too. Please give my regards to the others. I would have liked to meet, but I'd best be getting back.
Of course, you must be on your last legs. The others surely would have liked to see you too, especially your grandmother, but they couldn't leave their posts. Please accept our apologies, and let us help you to return.
Though that does make you wonder, where exactly are their posts? Because in Hades 1, when, it was a similar structure, you had all the gods and goddesses helping you along the way via boons, but you'd never encountered them in person outside of some very rare exceptions. you kind of just assumed, okay, well, fair enough. We're in the underworld. They're all on Olympus, at least on the surface, if not Olympus. But now that we are here, in the palace of Olympus, where are all the gods and goddesses? We have a small fraction of them, but there's a lot more. So are they out fighting in the field? And if so, then you would think we would encounter more along the way. But I suppose that's just all to say, I hope that we will have all the more reason to encounter more gods and goddesses here in the palace in the future.
Tell Lady Demeter and everyone I wish them well.
Okay, don't think we can do anything else here then. We can't salute Apollo as he's singing. I'm sorry, we can't distract him.
Goodbye for now, everyone. May you be safe and well when next we meet.
I am curious if we're going to be contacting Hecate once again via our own boon. No, not this time.
Shadow now.
We're just teleporting back.
Back from the palace.
But we'll see if Hecate has anything important to say after this one, because she very well could.
Glad to be back here with you. But it's a new night now.
Okay.
Hey, Mel.
One moment while we brood. Okay. But enough about that. Now, Dora, we seemingly had just about gotten all the details from you after having unlocked your memory, although we did kind of just talk with Prometheus a little more about that, so there's a chance there's going to be slightly more on that front. We'll see.
Dora, I just can't believe the gods set you up to curse all mortal kind. Is there any possibility your memory's at fault?
I guess. But I remember pretty clearly now, even if it was a long while ago. Though the other thing is, don't all you gods go through most of this stuff yourselves? I mean, you don't die like mortals, but you get the other bad things.
What is she saying? Like, oh, it's not as if I was the cause of all of these things. They kind of existed beforehand, and it's not just as if it's the mortals who are suffering. You gods and goddesses were already suffering from these things, and were sort of unaffected by what she did.
Well, certainly not all of it, but most. So then, perhaps this jar was merely some means of bringing mortals and gods closer together. To reality, such as we know it.
Sounds kind of like the hope that I left in the jar talking, Mel. You don't think the gods were just getting back at Prometheus, his brother, and his gorgeous wife?
Are you saying the gorgeous wife of his brother, in which case you're referring to yourself? Or are you saying Prometheus's gorgeous wife, in which case we don't know who that is?
Perhaps, but what would they possibly gain from doing such a monstrous thing?
I mean, that does seem like exactly the kind of petty stuff that the gods and goddesses would get up to.
Gods can be jerks sometimes. Like mortals, but stronger.
Yeah. I can believe it.
Good evening, everyone.
All right.
A step toward your goal.
Okay, and also, can I just, in case in case you haven't put all the pieces together yet, I feel like I've given enough hints that I ought to just say it outright right now. Dora is Pandora, and the jar is Pandora's box. Okay, there we go. Cat's out of the bag. I tried to hint at it several times along the way without saying it outright, but eventually just had to acknowledge it altogether.
Some nights I'm on the surface, I remember I'm defying the will of the fates simply by being there. Yet the fated list has certain prophecies that cannot be fulfilled anywhere else. Your sisters, they must have anticipated this.
It certainly is possible, even probable. Yet, historically, my sisters have had little patience for those who disregard their prophecies. Perhaps they're making an exception.
Because, yeah, remember, his sisters are the Fates. The Fates not only predict they more or less control the future, to a certain extent at least, but they've been captured by Kronos. And so, did they predict / weave into existence that they would be captured, in which case that's kind of strange?
Or perhaps I'm inviting some terrible consequence. Although if Kronos didn't disobey their prophecies, I wouldn't have either.
In my experience, it's best to avoid dwelling on such subject matter. Not even I can always see the pattern in my sister's reasoning, and I think that's their preference.
To make our heads ache?
Quite likely, yes.
Yep. Speaking of which, I don't think we have
Fated
any
list.
to cash in here, but alright.
Blood and darkness.
Oh, that's our family motto. I mean, you certainly said that with gritted teeth, but at the same time, that maybe it's a little bit of character development?
They're saying you beat Typhon single-handedly last night? One step closer to putting everything back to normal, huh?
Probably bad news for Strife Incarnate, I suppose.
I did not beat Typhon single-handedly, but we managed to defeat him, yes. Though I don't think you need to fear a return to normalcy anytime soon.
I know you're trying to reassure me, but I can't help the way I feel. I ought to be enjoying all this while it lasts. The future might be boring as dirt, but right now, things are okay.
Things are not okay.
It's all a matter of perspective, I suppose, and let's just say that Eris's perspective is a little different than many other people's would be.
Enjoy yourselves.
Oh, and again, I keep on forgetting we're going to get some applause when we walk in here if we've succeeded on the previous run.
Salutations.
What happened on Olympus? Did she really do it? She really did! Dying wish, long life, oh. Okay.
Good work.
Let's pick this up. And then before we cook more, let's see what Hecate has to say, because there's a chance that she's going to give us a new crafting recipe that we're going to want to use immediately.
Headmistress, I saw Icarus up there during my voyage toward Olympus. He flies free, but fights for us still, doing what he can to disrupt the Titan's legions.
And I don't think I've mentioned this as of the full release, but we've talked about it a bit in the early access. So obviously this was not something that happened to... It didn't even happen to us at all in the previous run. It happened to us a while ago, and is not that big of a deal relative to, say, defeating Typhon, which we obviously just did. So the way that the dialogues go in Hades is basically they create a bit of a queue of potential topics of conversation that you can have with a given NPC. And rather than just going in chronological order of, oh, okay, this thing happened most recently, so this is going to be the thing that you talk about first, and then once you get through the queue, you'll just work your way down. Instead, what it does is it basically prioritizes different topics of conversation. So it could be that you do a bunch of really big things, like you have several successful runs in a row, and so Hecate is going to have a lot of things to say about us defeating Kronos, defeating Typhon, maybe other major bosses and other big developments along the way, seeing Zagreus, getting to the Mount Olympus, the very top, the palace, all those sorts of things. But then that means that while those things are jumping the queue to get up to the front, eventually, once you do get through those things, you might have some stuff that's been sitting in the backlog for quite some time. So, the first time we encountered Icarus was months ago. Like, maybe a year ago at this point. So, this might be the first time we've ever discussed that with Hecate. It is strange that we are only talking about it now, but that's the reason why.
And you need not make attempts to endear him to me. My judgment of one's character need not affect your own.
Sometimes I worry you think he abandoned us during a time of need, and wasn't a good influence on me.
That, the previous line that Hecate just made, I feel like is some pretty serious wisdom that she just dropped on us, for what it's worth.
You need not speculate about my thoughts. The follies of young Icarus are positively mild in comparison to most. I harbor no ill will toward him. He'd not be flying if I did.
Oh, okay.
Is he still welcome here, at least?
If that is both your wish and his.
Don't think we've ever seen him here in the Crossroads, but maybe that means that'll change. And it doesn't seem as though we're getting any new crafting recipes here, although maybe we'll wait it out just a little bit longer to see if we get an unexpected source of those types of things. We did not take the bonus bones weapon on that run, because otherwise we would have been using the skull once again, so here you see how much of an impact that makes. We have very little bones to speak of, although we do have the ability to sell a few of those guys, which means that's not going to be enough to buy any nightmare. We did still get some from this run, But if anything, we might have to settle for just a nectar, or maybe some of those other options there. Let me just see. There's Talos, who we just fought, but I would like to check. Okay. Oh, another trip to the hot springs for Odysseus. Okay, so we might be interested in purchasing one of the bath salts, and then I want to check Dora. We haven't been able to gift to for quite some time. In fact, should double check if that is still possible here. We can. Okay. Let's do this.
Hey, cool it with the nectar, would you know? Ever since we tried ambrosia, I've been cultivating a much more sophisticated palate. For a shade. No more cheap stuff.
Oh, I love Dora.
Dora, the nectar of the gods can hardly be considered cheap. Most mortals go through the entirety of their existence without so much as a taste. And you don't like it.
Oh, Dora's great.
You know, I do, but it's a little on the sweet side for me. Though, I appreciate you treating me like royalty.
Like a spirit of unfathomable power.
Alright. That's one nectar. I suppose we can buy one back here, and then we do not yet have any bath salts, so we'll pick that up. Fortunately, it's the ambrosia that costs the most, and we don't need that right now. It's significantly more expensive than the other stuff. Okay, but if we are to go on a trip with Odysseus, then we should probably do this first, and or plant stuff first, which I always forget to do. I'm gonna make a point of doing it now, although at the moment I'm not seeing Odysseus, so not sure what to make of that. Sometimes if you leave this area, like go over to the place where Skelly is and all the weapons, and then you come back to this section of the crossroads, then people who were originally not in town suddenly are. Maybe that's just from me sometimes loading up a save when I'm in that section of the other section of town, and then walking back in here, and that sort of resets the town. But that is to say, if we are really looking for Odysseus right now and we just cannot find him, there's a chance we can manipulate our way into having him appear. So now, at least those are all planted. Doesn't look like anything new from Hypnos. Odysseus is not here. I think, let's double check, there's nothing new showing up. So we have 4 Z-Sand, which means we're 1 away from being able to afford this. And it would cost 1 more to use this. We need 2 more of the, I think it's Void Lens, the item from defeating Typhon, so we're not that far away from that standpoint, but of course we don't yet know what that unknown resource is going to be, nor do we know how difficult it would be to acquire it. But at least for the moment, I think we just continue getting some of these guys. I'm sure at some point we'll have gotten enough of the beast-loved morsels to max out all of the familiars, and at that point it'd be a waste to get more of these, but I don't think we're there yet.
Power to change. It's cooking.
So we'll do that. Then we also, remember, did what we needed to do to unlock the hidden aspect for the axe.
Now for my waking phrase.
So if we use the waking phrase, which is what we learned from Charon.
Zorafet, I see you hoard the shattered corpses of your foes. The hidden aspect of Nurgle.
Of Nurgle? It's spelled differently, but I would be lying if I didn't tell you that the first thing I thought about was Warhammer. Okay, so for what it's worth, since this is the first hidden aspect that we've unlocked as of the full release, and I think the penultimate hidden aspect, we're still missing one of them. Generally speaking, the starting aspects, the ones that you can potentially unlock right off the bat, are all based on figures from Greek mythology. Melinoe, obviously there's an aspect for her for all of the weapons, but then Thanatos, that's Greek. Charon, obviously Greek. But Nurgle and the other various hidden aspects, the other figures that the hidden aspects are named after, are usually from a different type of mythology. So What is the deal with the Nurgle? I don't recognize the name. Most mortal lives are naturally short. He seeks to cut them shorter still in a variety of ways. Aspect of Nurgle makes it so that you have the Rock Lion Mace and become Berserk after you strike enough foes. At first, you go Berserk after 21 strikes, which presumably, after upgrading it, would be... We could lower that threshold, so what's the deal with that? Alternate moveset. Heavy attacks and charge special deal damage in a wide area, and once you are Berserk, your attacks and specials are 65% faster, and restore 1 life per foe hit for 8 seconds. Sounds interesting. I'm very intrigued. Usually the thing that makes me not a big fan of the axe is that it's slow. So, fortunately with the aspect we used, if you pull off the big combo, it takes a long time, but it can clear out rooms pretty efficiently. Then there's the aspect of Thanatos, which gives you better, at least, attack speed, so it can sort of mitigate what would otherwise be the biggest weakness of this weapon. But then that's 35% just for attacks. This is 65% for both attacks and specials, but it's not up all the time. So it intrigues me. I am curious what that's like. We don't have enough iron, though, to get it at the moment. That would be the mining resource on the Rift of Thessaly, I believe, is where that comes from. So, soon, we may look into getting that, but we cannot yet use it. At the moment, the bonus weapon is the blades. I think that's been the longest one that we've gone without using, and it is generally my favorite, so that is nice to see that. But let's check in here with Skelly.
You have repeatedly knocked Typhon from his perch. Mayhaps the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Oh, man.
I've never
He's a
thought of it
poet.
that way before, Commander, but you're right. The Cyclops Polyphemus also falls quite hard.
Because of his size, you see.
Absolutely mind-blowing. Oh, I tried to gift, because I thought I was gifting to this random shade. I was like, sure, why not? No, that was technically still me being next to Skelly.
You were all the way up at the summit, weren't you?
Okay. So, as I said, we may be looking to use the blades next time around, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, because this is probably the right time for us to wrap things up after another successful run. Only our second ever successful run with the axe, our first ever successful run with it on the surface. We got the bonus nightmare from activating the fear. As for what we look to do next time, if the blades are supposed to send us down, maybe we'll go up anyway, because we've been doing a whole lot of underworld runs as of late. But anyways, thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.